world where everybody craves their moment in the spotlight, the dream of becoming an influencer and getting a taste of fame is nothing new. However, the lengths of some individuals are willing to go to stand out are more shocking than ever before. Fake disorder TikTok has become a well-known subgenre on social media. Though I've covered quite a few cases on my channel, it's impossible to ignore the alarming rise in popularity of this trend. Pretending to struggle with disorders ranging from dissociated identity disorder and autism to claiming Tourette Syndrome has transformed into a bizarre show, and it's important to recognize the harm it spreads when people fake disorders. They're not just fooling their followers, they're also disrespecting those who actually suffer with the disorders. It's like they're making a mockery of something that's very real and serious. But why are people still doing this? They're putting on a performance, but there's more to it than just being weird. The behavior gives us a peek into the mindset where getting likes and attention online is the top priority. It's intriguing, even though it might be a little confusing, and it's a part of how some people use technology today. While some embrace the positive aspects of TikTok, others unfortunately exploit it for purposes that aren't as good or admirable. This brings us to individuals like the Pillow Fort system is just one among many who falsely claim to have dissociated identity disorder, or DID, formerly known as multiple personality disorder. The name was later changed as it doesn't really classify as a multiple personality disorder anymore. Instead, dissociative identity disorder. The DID community on TikTok is growing, not only in popularity, but also in number, and unfortunately, it has become a common target for those who create misleading content. Misguiding portrayals are also present in pop culture, such as the controversial film Split, which contributed to the widespread misunderstanding of DID. This condition, often misrepresented as violent and dangerous, deserves a more accurate explanation. So what exactly is dissociated identity disorder? DID is a mental condition where an individual has two or more distinct personalities, often referred to as alts or identities. Each alter carries the potential for its own personality, memories, behaviors, gender, and sexuality. Even some attributes like allergies. These alters coexist within a single person and from what is commonly referred to as system. Even though this individual pretends to have DID for likes and views, DID is a very rare and serious mental condition which affects less than 1% of the population. Experts believe that severe childhood trauma, accounting for at least 9 out of the 10 cases, is a common cause of the condition. Those truly experiencing it wouldn't dedicate all their time to making TikToks, as they are already dealing with the significant difficulties in their everyday lives. One significant aspect to understand is that different parts of a person's self can emerge, each perceiving and dealing with the world in their own unique way. It's a bit like having your own private play, but definitely not as fun as one, as this faker portrays it. Another big challenge for these people is memory loss, leading to gaps in their personal history that are more than just normal forgetfulness. The person might suddenly find themselves in a faraway spot, not knowing how they got there. These gaps in memory, whether they happened recently or a long time ago, add to the confusing puzzle of DID. Now think about dealing with this every single day. It's not just upsetting, it makes daily life very difficult. But what about the internal experiences? Imagine feeling like you're just watching yourself do things, or hearing voices, along with thoughts that you can't control, and being out of control of your own thoughts can quickly get much darker than you might think.
anti-androgenic realize just how little research has been done about systems, and like, do they realize that you can't definitively say something is or isn't valid when there's just no fucking research? Like, there's nothing saying that this isn't valid. There's no studies have been done because people don't care. Singles don't care. Like, there is, though, proof that it is real because it's something people experience, and it's not like a mass amount of people lying about something. Like, it's not some big fucking conspiracy. It's just people existing and vibing and living their life. Like, God, shut up.
It's essential to recognize the complexity of treating dissociated identity disorder. The primary treatment for DID is a long-term psychotherapy aimed at exposing different personalities and merging them into one identity. Alongside this cognitive and creative, therapists are also used to help individuals manage their symptoms by learning more and helping those who truly struggle with the condition. We take important steps to support their journey towards healing and recovery. And now that I've provided an understanding of what DID is and addressed the issue of individuals claiming to have this disorder, let's shift our focus to another troubling TikTok trend. Autism. Do your happy flipping hands and pull out your stimming toys. Dye your hair a bright color and apply some very heavy eyeliner. Cut your hair, dance to music, record it, and call it a stim. Then, if someone points out that autism isn't cute and quirky, get upset. And just like that, you've transformed into a TikTok autism faker. Autism fakers might even be worse than DID fakers. Take, for example, a couple that falsely claims they have autism just to get attention. In one video, they open gifts people send to them, exploiting their untrue claim to make money.
Here goes.
This obvious attention-seeking show for money is a way bigger problem than you might think. It also affects those who watch it. Imagine scrolling through TikTok and suddenly you start relating to symptoms of autism, showcased like this video, for example. Nothing wrong with that, right? The important thing, however, is what you do next. Instead of jumping into a self-diagnosis rabbit hole, the best thing is reaching out to a medical professional for help. Sure, I get it. Getting a diagnosis can be a very tricky and hard for a lot of people for different reasons. However, proceeding not to at least see a therapist, do actual research, but rather rely solely on TikTok might not be the ideal move here. This situation can get even more complicated because of the butterfly effect. One person believes certain traits make them have autism, and therefore may other people, especially younger audiences, will believe that as well. So imagine this: those who brought into it start making videos showcasing quirky behavior, and those videos become a show for the eyes, creating a loop that just keeps on going. While countless TikTokers claim to have autism, it's important to note that although not as rare as DID, autism is still a relatively uncommon condition.
1 in 68 children will be diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder, a condition that involves
significant impairments in social and communication skills.
Mayo Clinic neuropsychologist Dr. Andrea Huebner says kids with autism,
they have difficulty reading the social cues around them and then acting appropriately.
Some might say self-diagnosis isn't a big deal, but I disagree. It can actually be harmful. That's why it's critical to approach these things with caution and seek proper guidance from experts. But what does autism really look like? Well, according to an article from Psychology Today, many people know the word autism, but few know the world of autism. And while there can be a huge push for autism acceptance as of late, society cannot truly accept an issue that it is not completely aware of. As I mentioned earlier, autism is often shown in the media as something special, cute, and celebrated for being a unique way of thinking. But there's a lot of difficulty and pain that happens behind those words, which many people might not know if they only understand the term autism. In the world of autism, the pain and trauma caused by isolation, bullying, feeling left out, being misunderstood, and the constant effort to fit in are often not fully shown. Moreover, the mental health struggles that many individuals on the spectrum face are not well presented, and when they do get attention, it is often shown in a way that doesn't accurately portray their experiences. The spectrum of autism is really wide, including lots of different human experiences. When we only believe in certain ideas about what autism is, we don't fully understand all the different ways it can be. For those with autism, having meltdowns in public can happen, dealing with a world that doesn't really get what it's like to be them. Acceptance may be promised when autism remains hidden, but unfortunately that acceptance can quickly disappear when their condition comes to light. Now, knowing that autism isn't a joke, it won't come as a surprise that even scientists from Drexel University took notice of the TikTok autism fakers. They did a study called The Reach and Accuracy of Information on Autism on TikTok. In this study, they found out that the hashtag autism had gotten billions of views. They looked at 133 most watched videos about autism with hundreds of millions of views and likes, but it turns out many of those videos had information that was completely wrong. Furthermore, the researchers found a big difference in who makes videos about autism than the ones made by healthcare experts. You usually have better and correct information than those made by autistic people and others. This shows how important it is to tell the autistic community, professionals, and practitioners that the information about autism on TikTok might not always be true. We need to make sure that the right and truthful information reaches the people that really need it. However, that's not everything that the researchers found. They also found that young people, often adolescent girls and young women, are developing Tourette's-like tics by watching videos from TikTok influencers.
She's stealing. No, no, no. No, no, no. Don't buy that. Look, she's got COVID. Okay. That's illegal.
Oh God! Move it on. Send me to Canada! Oh! Alright. That went well.
The videos you just watched were created by one of the most controversial figures in this world of faking disorders, Emerald, or better known as Tics and Roses on TikTok. She had claimed that she had suffered from Tourette Syndrome since an early age, so she started using her large TikTok following to spread awareness about her condition. But the truth is that was using her followers to promote her business. Her viewers dug up her previous social media history. They found her live streaming online and talking for hours without having any tics. We actually did a deep dive video on this channel. I'll leave a link down in the description if you guys want to go check that out, solely on Tics and Roses. But even though she has been exposed as the biggest TikTok fraud and a faker of this condition multiple times, the story doesn't end there, as the reality is way more complicated. You might wonder, why Tourette's? Well, it's because it's the easiest mental condition to fake for her, and many people find the tics of those who truly suffer amusing. But it's anything but amusing to those who struggle with it. But what exactly is Tourette Syndrome, and what are the symptoms? According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Tourette Syndrome, or TS, is a condition of the nervous system which causes people to have tics. Picture this: you're sitting in class trying to pay attention to the teacher, when suddenly you feel the urge to blink rapidly or make a strange noise. You try to stop yourself, but it's like trying to hold back a sneeze. Almost impossible. That's what it's like for people with Tourette Syndrome. The tics, sudden and repetitive movements or sounds beyond one's control, play a crucial role in diagnosing conditions like Tourette Syndrome. Healthcare professionals don't use a simple blood test for diagnosing Tourette's. Instead, they carefully observe a person's symptoms, considering the type and duration of the tics. Thousands of children and teenagers currently live with Tourette's and the tics associated with this disorder. According to one CDC study, 1 out of every 360 kids living in the US have received a diagnosis of Tourette's. This condition mostly affects boys, as they are 5 times more likely to have it than girls. But lately, there's been a lot of confusion surrounding Tourette Syndrome, as there's an increasing number of girls manifesting sudden and unexpected tics, which is different from typical presentation of Tourette Syndrome. This rise of Tourette's content on TikTok has sparked a controversial medical debate. What adds to the intrigue is that individuals experiencing these tics develop them much later in life than usual, and they lack a family history of such symptoms. Are these young people thinking they have Tourette Syndrome because someone influenced them? Or is there another reason behind these strange happenings? The answer to this question is not so simple, as medical opinions vary, but one of the explanations might be anxiety, according to an expert on Tourette Syndrome. Whatever it may be, we can all agree that TikTok fakers like Tics and Roses hold a significant influence in spreading misinformation about the condition. People that truly struggle with the disorder want nothing more than to get rid of it so they can live a decent and somewhat normal life. They may try to hide it from others so they are not judged for having a mental disorder. Those that fake it will most likely be proud that they have it and talk about it all the time, even to acquaintances. Everyone who fakes a mental disorder has a motive. Usually it is for personal gain or sympathy from others. To apply for a disability, to become well known, and or to stand out, it's important to look at what the person wants to get out of having these disorders. Whatever their intention is for mass manufacturing this content, whether it's money, clout, attention, followers, or to express one's inner self, there are healthier ways of dealing with mental health issues. These videos are out there online forever and could come back to haunt the creator. Many of these videos not only have negative repercussions for the creator, but also for the viewer. We've seen a lot of disgusting things on TikTok, and this one's being added to an ever-growing list of scams, dishonest ploys, grifts, and cons. There's no value in pretending to be someone else online, no matter how many likes or support comments it gets you. When we understand how much this trend has affected us, it's hard not to think about the setbacks we face in discussing mental illness. We need to be honest about what's happening and speak out against false information. If we don't, it will continue to spread in online communities. Calling out fake mental illness and addressing the negative side of social media isn't just necessary, it's something we should have done a long time ago.